Delators, thank you for your love and support. I appreciate you all. The same ones that are preaching they are the saviors of Africans are actually the ones that are causing us pain, even though a lot of us haven't realized it because of the way they always talk on the media for us to see. Because anytime the economy of any country in Africa is in crisis, the next thing we hear our leaders do is to call other people to come in to set us free. So we believe that they are the saviors, because sometimes one will listen to what they say when they come, things are going to be stable, and every government that comes goes in for this help. And this has always been the problem of Africa, even though majority of us haven't realized it. These are leaders are telling us what exactly IMF is, and our countries that we claim we own them are not for us. These countries are owned by IMF and World Bank. That even though our leaders are doing everything possible to cover up, and that is why whenever we go for loans, they determine what we should use the loans for. Like one of them said, every country government subsidize things. But when we go, IMF says, Africa, we shouldn't subsidize things for ourselves. This has been the narrative that Africans are facing. We have been kept in the dark for a very long time, and that is the reason to which we don't have any idea of what is happening around us. Because we believe so much in party, in the leaders, that whenever they say something, that is what we go by. But we have forgotten that these people will never come out to tell us the truth concerning what is happening. We only hear what they want us to hear, but we don't know what is actually happening. And that we need to rise to fight against this system.
You are on your third point.
Yes. Because part of the reason we have this crisis, and it is a crisis, is the perception that the IMF and the World Bank are ruling this country. That they are the ones dictating, saying you must do this. Even if it makes no sense, you must do it. They are the ones who have insisted that you cut support for education, which has been run down completely. And they are the ones insisting that you cut down on health. And so when the impression comes that President Ruto and his team are not running the country, that it is the IMF and the World Bank that are running the country, not a very good picture, eh? Mm-hmm. So some of the things we are seeing are reactions to that perception that the country has been surrendered to foreign entities. And if that is the case, then, you have a long way to go. And the president and his team have a very big job of trying to convince the people, the country, that that is not the case. Yeah? Are you in charge, really, when you are getting orders from IMF and World Bank? Are you in charge when we hear da-da-da-da-da-da? So that's what I was trying to say, that the perception itself is that Kenya is not a free country because it is being run by some foreign entities that are giving orders. Mm-hmm. And the orders they are giving are detrimental to the welfare of the country, of the people themselves. That's why they are suffering. Mm-hmm. That's why students cannot go to universities anymore. And the teachers are suffering what Kenneth Ombogi was calling pecuniary embarrassment. Eh? Mm-hmm. and the doctor, we have thousands of doctors who cannot be placed in hospitals mm-hmm. or health centers. These are policy anomalies. And it's got nothing to do with some problem somewhere else. Mm-hmm. These are internal problems because we have the wrong people making policies. Mm-hmm. And they're not even sure what it is that they're doing.
Right.
So the disconnect is something that needs to be looked at, even when trying to address
Thank you.
The children.
Thank you. Let's hear from Dr. Hassan Kanenja, because, of course, we have now...
Just yesterday, the IMF was asking the government to remove fresh subsidy in its entirety and also increase electricity tariff. Whereas the society, there's no country in the world where government does not subsidize one product or the other. Even in the most advanced capitalist societies. And that is why Nigerians must now begin to ask the government to discard and jettison the deleterious programs and policies of the IMF and World Bank. Just last month, the IMF was accusing the British government of not investing enough in education and health. This same agency, these Bretton Woods institutions are asking our government to remove all subsidies and impose a rush of increases on goods and services in our country. So I think these are the issues. This government must, this is very important. The only economic body recognized by the Constitution to advise the president is the National Economic Council. So why has that body abdicated its responsibility to the IMF and World Bank? So that is the body that, the majority of them are elected. Yeah. They are serving the people. So you must advise the president what your people are saying, based on what your people are saying, based on their demands. It is an ideological battle. These institutions were set up by imperialism, principally to destroy the economies of developing countries. Why they turn the other eye when Western governments are giving subsidies to their people. And I am challenging the IMF here to take interest in the report of the 2020 report of the Auditor General of the Federation, sent to the National Assembly last November. That report is saying that the $3.5 billion, the loan of $3.5 billion taken by Nigeria from the IMF cannot be located. That is what the report is saying. The IMF should be interested in that. Because we are required to pay the loan in 4 years, between 2023 and 2027. So the IMF should be interested in that. And stop mounting pressure on the government to multiply the hardship of Nigeria. And the government must summon the courage to tell this institution to mind their business and allow our country to be run in the interest of our country. In the interest of Nigerians. Because the Constitution, Section 16, has stipulated that the government of Nigeria shall be under a legal obligation to plan the economy of Nigeria, to run the economy of Nigeria, in order to promote happiness, not sadness.
That will come and break the chain, the connection. Whatever relationship we have with IMF and World Bank must be taken away. And that is why Mali, Niger, and Burkina Faso are always calling the African leaders to do away with these organizations, because they are the organizations that are keeping the African poor. They are never designed to help you and I. We need to fight for a better Africa and better leadership. Like Dr. Arikana said, she don't even see the reason to which we should belong to these organizations that are created to support their people. But Africans have made it that without them, we can never survive. And whenever the economy is in crisis, we need to call on them to come and help us. But ever since we have been in contact with these people, our problems are compounding. We have never seen that we went to them for help and things have normalized. A lot of people are saying that with the protests we are seeing all over the world, IMF and World Bank are responsible because of the measures they put in place. Look at the Kenya Gen Z's protest that we saw. It was as a result of IMF. And these people will continue to make life unbearable for us. They are never there to change anything in Africa. And that is what we need to understand as people in Africa. We need to stop believing so much in these people because they will never help us. Like he said, they are there to make sure we will suffer for their people to rise up. So why should you go to these people for help when they are not there to help you survive? It's because we don't understand what is happening around us. That is why we believe so much in these people. And we have also politicized things. Because of this partisan politics, when things are even going wrong, we do not understand and we still support the leaders simply because we belong to that party. And this is why the leaders in Africa always get a chance to continue to be doing this to us. When things are out that are affecting us and we need to have eyes of the nation, we now tend to have eyes of party. So why would these leaders take us serious to do what is necessary to set the country free? And we can never change all these things under the system called democracy that we all love so much, because this is a system that these people are using to cripple Africa. Mali, Niger, and Burkina Faso are doing extraordinary things without going to IMF or World Bank for any help. And they're able to do that because they're out of the system called democracy. You can never be a democratic leader without going to IMF or World Bank for loan. It is not possible. You are kept there to do their bid, and you must go there because the more you go to IMF and World Bank for help, the more they thrive. That is how their people are surviving. So we need to channel the energy into understanding things that are happening around us instead of feeding our system with chaff, things that are not necessary. Like we'll be talking about food, Ghana jollof and Nigeria jollof. How does this change the continent for us? So that's the latest around the world and in Africa.